United States are expected to deploy an estimated 1,000 U.S. troops to the Middle East. Stay tuned for the details. Are these hot temperatures here to stay in Oklahoma? Elijah DePona will have your weather update. OpenAI has canceled the Sora video making app and canceled a $1 billion deal with Disney. And Akama has the latest. UCO wrestler Gabe Johnson was named the Super Region 4 Wrestler of the Year. Sam Fraley has your sports stories. All of that and more on this edition of UCentral News.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Hello, Bronco Nation. I'm Luke Underwood.
And I'm Phil Rodriguez. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News.
As the war with Iran continues, U.S. troops are expected to deploy to the Middle East in the coming days, sources told CNN. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump is saying a deal to end the war is in sight. That sentiment is not echoed by Iran, which suggests that the White House is negotiating with itself. Lee Waldman has the latest.
Airstrikes continue in the Middle East. A residential area in Tehran was hit, according to the Iranian Red Crescent. In central Israel, at least 9 people were hurt after an Iranian missile launch, emergency officials said. In the coming days, approximately 1,000 soldiers with the Army's 82nd Airborne Division are expected to deploy to the Middle East, according to 2 sources familiar with the matter. One of the sources said the brigade will be prepared to be called upon if needed.
They're serious about conducting some kind of a ground operation in Iran. Why else would you be sending the immediate ready brigade from the 82nd Airborne?
I would not support troops going into Iran, period. No ifs, ands, or buts, but I also want to be clear that this administration, at least in talks with us, has not voiced that they want that either.
This comes as President Donald Trump says the U.S. is winning this war and is close to ending it.
I can tell you they'd like to make a deal. And who wouldn't if you were there?
The U.S. has shared a 15-point list of expectations with Iran via Pakistan, 2 regional sources told CNN, who added that among the points included are limits on Tehran's defense capability, a cessation of support for proxies, and an acknowledgement of Israel's right to exist. However, Iran's semi-official news agency Fars is reporting Iran will not accept a ceasefire and believes it would not be logical for it to enter talks with the United States, citing a source with knowledge of the diplomatic activity. I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
Well, gas prices are holding steady after more than 3 weeks of increases tied to the war with Iran. AAA reports a gallon of regular is averaging $3.98. That's $1 more than a month ago, but effectively the same as on Tuesday. The gas price hold comes amid modest relief for oil prices. Brent crude is fluctuating at or below $100 a barrel as of Wednesday morning. That's still a significant jump from pre-war prices, but it's lower than this month's peak. The improvement comes after President Donald Trump expressed optimism about peace. An Iranian source says Tehran is open to hearing a sustainable proposal, but Iran initially denied it was in talks with the U.S. It's still impeding the flow of oil through the critical Strait of Hormuz.
A New Mexico jury has found Meta liable in a case over child sexual exploitation on its platforms. The jury found the company violated state law in a case accusing it of failing to warn users about the dangers of its platforms and protect children from sexual predators. Meta was found liable on all counts and ordered to pay $375 million in damages. A Meta spokesperson said the company respectfully disagrees and plans to appeal. The state attorney general had accused Facebook and Instagram of becoming a breeding ground for abuse. The 6-week trial included testimonies from executives, whistleblowers, and an undercover investigation into child sexual exploitation on Meta's platforms. The company argued it had been transparent about risk and invested heavily in safety.
The start of the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season is about 3 months away, and emergency planners around the United States are about to lose access to a critical hurricane evacuation planning tool. It's due to a lapse of the federal contract governing the web-based tool known as HurrEvac. Meteorologists and emergency managers use it for making critical decisions, including ordering evacuations. It is also used for training between meteorologists with the National Weather Service and emergency management officials for when a hurricane strikes. HurrEvac is owned and paid for by FEMA, but administered by the Army Corps of Engineers through an interagency agreement. That agreement has not been renewed, holding up the contract as well. Well, no hurricanes coming anytime soon, but we did have a lot hotter weather today. Maybe it's going to cool down. Maybe it's going to keep getting hot. Elijah, what's going on out there?
Elijah Pono with your first look at weather. You're right, it is getting a little hot outside. There is some cool weather coming, but I hate to tell y'all, but the heat's coming right back, all right? Let's talk about what we have today. Let's head outside. We are 88 degrees out there, sunny. We have south-southwest winds going around 10 miles per hour. Humidity is around 56%, a little bit higher than it was yesterday. So you're going to see those temperatures be a little closer to what they actually feel like. It says it feels like 85 degrees out there. It's 88 degrees. I tell you right now, it feels hot because the sun is truly beating down on us. Now let's go look at that allergy index. We can see that the trees have been high this entire time, and they're not going to go down anytime soon. But everything else is catching up to it. The grass, the mold, and especially the weed has grown since yesterday. As we keep having more of these hot weathers and have more of these dry climates, those allergy indexes are going to climb just a little bit higher and higher, but we do have rain chances coming in throughout the coming weeks, so they should wash away all of this allergy, all this pollen. All right, now let's look at the severe weather. We'll see that we don't have to worry about hail at all. Tornadoes and flooding is maybe a marginal little thing, but the wind is really going to be our biggest factor as we go throughout the next few days, especially on Thursday. That wind gust is going to come up to all the way up to like 33 miles per hour. Now, as we look ahead, we see that we have a sunny week ahead of us. We have cool weekend conditions, but we do have a red flag warning on Thursday just because of how much heat we have, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that as we keep going. But we're going to have high 80s throughout next week, and a little fun fact for y'all, the first tornado forecast, fully forecast, ever happened here in Oklahoma in 1948 in Tinker Air Force Base. Kind of crazy. You love to see the weather come back to each other. All right, but that's all I'm going to have for y'all, your first look at weather. Right back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Elijah. True story, I was born in the high 80s. The Bronco Battalion, UCO's ROTC program, has been named the largest in the state and one of the largest in the region. With 140 cadets this year, the program has set a new record, as well as recording record highs in commissions to the Army, Army Reserve, and Army National Guard. The battalion increased from 39 cadets in spring 24 to 85 in fall 2025 to the new record this year. This puts them in the top 10 in a region that includes Arkansas, Colorado, Louisiana, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Texas, and Wyoming. UCO President Todd Lamb gave a statement saying, quote, "The sustained growth of UCO's Bronco Battalion reflects a focused effort to recruit, retain, and develop high-caliber cadets prepared to meet the Army's evolving operational and leadership demands." The program's enrollment number is bolstered in part from its partnership with local universities, allowing students from other schools without an ROTC program to join ours. This includes Cameron University, Oklahoma Christian University, Oklahoma City University, as well as Southern Nazarene University. For more information about the UCO Army ROTC program, visit uco.edu or contact the Department of Military Science at armyrotc@uco.edu.
New developments involving the Transportation Security Administration, better known as TSA, and how the lack of funding for TSA workers could pose a national security risk. TSA agents at international airports are still reporting to work unpaid, with airports like the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport still working despite the federal shutdown. With today marking the 40th day of the DHS budget standoff, there is still no clear end in sight. ICE agents have also been deployed to several different airports around the U.S. No ICE deployments are currently planned for airports in the OKC and Tulsa area, as ICE rollouts are targeting larger airport hubs. That's absolutely crazy and scary. I'm actually getting to go to New York in 2 weeks, and I know that ICE has been deployed to one of the airports I'll be going to, so it is a little scary.
You'll be fine. Just keep your head down. Don't cause any trouble. Anyways, we'll find out about some ice or some sun coming up in Elijah's full look at weather right after this.
It's time to explore, to come out and play. Our city is waiting, so what do you say? Whether daytime or nighttime, the right time is now. Finding those moments to make you go wow. Amazing new places to fit every mood. Shopping and dining. Did we mention the food? There are green parks and ballparks and water parks too. Museums, attractions, and also a zoo. The modern frontier is the friendliest place. Now is the time for your dreams to be chased.
It's the Roadway Replay.
Time for the lightning round, Brian. Let's rewind your drive to work. How far did your car travel while you checked your phone? 20 feet, 100 feet, the length of a football field?
100 feet.
Oh, sorry, Brian. In just 3 seconds on the highway, your car traveled the length of a football field.
Distracted driving? It's no game.
Hi there, Elijah DePona with your full look of weather. Let's head outside. Right, we're out there with 88 degrees, sunny, 88 degrees, going south-southwest winds about 10 miles per hour. The humidity is around 56%. It feels like 85 degrees out there just because of the small wind we're going to have, but the sun is truly beating on us. If we look through the entire state, we're going to see that we have a high of 93, but the entire state is going to feel that too. And as we keep going to Thursday, we're going to see highs of triple digits, but we'll get there when we get there. Right, we can see the northern part of the states, Enid around 96. We got Ponca around 94. Up there in the Panhandle, we got 96. We look through the southern part of the states, we're going to see a little lower temperatures, but not too low. We can see Ardmore at 88, McAllister at 87. We see Lawton around 94. Now, as we look back here in the middle of the state, we're going to see that we settle at 66 degrees out there, a clear 66. We're going south winds. With south winds, I'd say, going 13 miles per hour. Humidity still going to stay around the same range, around 50%. The cloud coverage is going to be a lot lower than what we expect, about 4%. So you're going to see a cloud in the sky probably once every hour or so. If we look through tonight, we'll see that we settle at 66, and the entire state is going to be settling with us. Enid up there at 66 as well, Lawton around 62, Panhandle around 59. We've got Clinton around 63 as well, with one of the highest being Tulsa around 67. As we look through the daily forecast for tomorrow, we'll see that we have a clear sky. We're going to start out the day, I should say, with a clear sky, 68 degrees. Right? We're going to go into a sunny noon, about 85 degrees, so it's going to get hot real fast. And once we get to 7 p.m., we're going to be a bright 90 degrees. Right? That's crazy heat. As we look through tomorrow, we'll see that when you peak out around 95, we got Woodward at 101. The Panhandle is at 105. Right? That's heat stroke levels of heat. We've got Ponca City around 96, and we look at the southern part of the state, we see Ardmore around 90, Lawton around 95 as well. If we look through the 7-day forecast, we see that we get a lot of heat today and tomorrow, but we're going to cool down a lot during Friday because we're going to have that cold front. But Thursday is going to have that red flag warning. And that red flag warning means a lot of different things. It means we're going to have a lot of heat coming in, we have low humidity and low wind as well. So if you are outside, make sure you stay hydrated. As we go through the weekend, we see cooler temperatures, but it's going to ramp back up all the way to Sunday and Monday, where we're back to the high 80s, all the way to Tuesday, where we're at 86 degrees. But that's all I'm going to have for your 7-day or your first look at weather, full look at weather. I have a quick question for y'all at the desk, though. We got some hot days coming up. What do y'all expect to do with the dog days? Y'all going to go outside and enjoy some weather, or are you going to be inside enjoying your AC?
Well, I think I definitely want to be outside. I mean, it feels great outside, so you definitely want to be around. But also sometimes if you get a little too overheated, you want to go out. So probably a bit of both. What about you, Phil?
Probably deal with it the same way we did over spring break. I'll just put the sprinkler underneath the trampoline, let the kids go wild. It was a good time. It was a good time. Thanks, Elijah. Well, coming up with social media, OpenAI closes the Sora video making app and cancels $1 billion deal with Disney.
Paul Walter Hauser joins Scooby-Doo live action Netflix series. Hannah Ackerman will have your social media update after the break.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead.
Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
Did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Hello Broncos, I have your social media update for this Wednesday. OpenAI closes Sora video making app and cancels $1 billion deal with Disney. OpenAI shut down its artificial intelligence video generation app Sora less than 2 years after its launch made headlines for creating realistic clips based on simple prompts. At the same time, OpenAI will also wind down its $1 billion content partnership with entertainment giant Disney. A spokesperson for the Walt Disney Company said, "We respect OpenAI's decision to exit the video generation business and shift its priorities elsewhere. Disney will engage in other AI platforms to find ways to responsibly use the technology without infringing on intellectual property rights," a spokesperson said. Paul Walter Hauser joined Scooby-Doo live-action Netflix series. Netflix has allowed the actor has joined the cast of the upcoming, currently unentitled Scooby-Doo live-action series. While the specific role Hauser will play has not been revealed, he has been a regular cast series regular. Hauser joins the previously announced main cast of the show that includes McKenna Grace as Daphne, Tanner Hagen as Shaggy, Abby Ryder-Fortsman as Velma, and Maxwell Jenkins as Fred. According to Netflix, the show will be a modern remaining of Scooby-Doo's original story. 50 Cent announces plan to launch entertainment hub PH Live in Times Square. The G-Unit boss has partnered with Planet Hollywood in a $100 million deal. Queens native Curtis Jackson has partnered with Planet Hollywood to launch a new entertainment hub PH Live at the eatery's current Times Square location. The venture is being done with Robert Earl, the CEO of Planet Hollywood, and in a reported $100 million deal. It is intended to be the entertainment industry's hotspot where partygoers can see performances, listeners, and events that could have fans partying like celebrities. 50 Cent said Planet Hollywood has always been connected to the pop culture, and PH Live takes that energy to the next level. Chapel Rowan is losing fans after an incident that occurred Sunday at a hotel in Brazil after Jude Law's 11-year-old daughter was confronted by the singer's security guard for attempting to approach the singer. Over the weekend, a fight began playing out on Instagram after Jorginho posted a lengthy Instagram story detailing the encounter he claimed his wife, Catherine Harding, and his stepdaughter had with the singer at an unknown hotel in Brazil. Rowan headlined the music festival Lollapalooza Brazil over the weekend. Allegedly, the girl walks by Chapel Rowan's table in the hotel dining hall and smiled at her. Soon after, Rowan's security guard approached the girl's table and scolded her and her mother about the so-called harassment. This upsetted the fans and many Brazilians, also the family. I used to listen to Chapel Rowan's album, The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess, when it first came out. Are you guys big Chapel Rowan fans back at the desk?
I haven't got to listen to Chapel probably as much as I'd want to, so I don't think I really have an opinion.
I am a massive Chapel Rowan fan. I actually went with my fiance to see her live in Kansas City back in October. I think a lot of this story is kind of overblown. A lot of reaction online has not really looked at it from all sides. I think the girl did get her feelings hurt, that the bodyguard probably stepped out of line, but from what Chapel said, she didn't even really know about it. But I love Chapel Rowan. I'm tired of hearing about this story, but thank you so much, Hannah. I'm just tired of hearing about the bad things about it, you know?
Yeah.
People need to look at it in more of a positive way.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, coming up, which Bronco wrestler just got a hug recognition?
And what March Madness games can we look forward to? Sam Fraley has more after the break.
Sometimes it makes everything funny. Sometimes it's nothing to laugh about. Weed. It's funny like that. And unlike alcohol, with marijuana, there's no legal limit. So even if you don't feel high, you could get a DUI. No matter how much weed you've had, don't get behind the wheel, because driving impaired is illegal, and that's no joke.
Hooves up, roll Chos. Today's a great day to cheer on the Broncos.
Welcome back to the Pain Train.
Okay, Sean, here's your final question. A train hitting your car is the same as your car hitting a boulder, a brick wall, or a soda pop can.
A brick wall?
At a whopping 20 million pounds, a train will crush your car like a pop can.
Oh.
Beating a train? It's a game you can't win.
Hey Broncos, it's Sam Fraley here for your Wednesday Sports Update. The Broncos baseball team took a tough loss to the Northeastern State Riverhawks yesterday, losing 5-3. The Broncos came out strong, scoring a run in each of the first 3 innings, while the Riverhawks couldn't get a single hit, putting UCO up 3-0. But then in the 4th inning, the game took a complete 180 after NSU's Noah Small hit a 3-run homer. An error by the Broncos and a single put the Riverhawks up by 2, and the Broncos went silent the rest of the afternoon, making their season record 13-15. The Broncos are back home this weekend for a 3-game series against Fort Hays State, who have a record of 9-19. The Broncos tennis team won handily on the road against the Newman Jets yesterday, winning 7-0. This improves their win streak to 4 and gives them a record of 9-2 on the season and starts them off with a 1-0 record in league play. The Broncos are back home this Friday to take on Emporia State at 9 a.m. It was announced by the National Wrestling Coaches Association today that Central Oklahoma senior Gabe Johnson has been named Super Region 4 Wrestler of the Year, making him the 18th Bronco wrestler to receive the recognition. In the school's history, Johnson was also named Division II's most dominant wrestler at the national tournament earlier this month. This recognition places him on the ballot for the Division II Wrestler of the Year, along with 5 others from the 6 regions. The NCAA March Madness Sweet 16 tournament begins this Thursday, and if your bracket's as busted as mine, you'll want to make a second chance bracket for any last hope at any bragging rights. The first game kicks off at 6:10 p.m. Central Time with the Purdue Boilermakers taking on the Texas Longhorns in San Jose, California. It was a difficult decision for me between these two teams, as I strongly dislike both of them, but I think that the Longhorns are going to upset the Boilermakers on this one. Between the 9-seed Hawkeyes and the 4-seed Cornhuskers, I'm going to take the Huskers for their great defense and their very deep rotation. Then the Arizona Wildcats are taking on the Arkansas Razorbacks. I do think that the Razorbacks are going to come out with an upset just because of their elite offense, but regardless of who takes this one, I think it will be a very tight matchup. The final game of the night will be a very exciting matchup with the Houston Cougars battling Illinois. I predict that this will be the closest matchup of the night, but I think Houston will end up advancing to the Elite Eight due to their elite tournament run so far. But it's always exciting to see an elite defensive team take on an elite offense. And that is all for Thursday's March Madness matchups, but heading on over to the MLB, their regular season kicks off tonight at 7:05 p.m. when the New York Yankees travel to San Francisco to take on the Giants. The Yankees do have a slight edge coming into this one, but it should be a very competitive matchup either way. Now, Phil, Luke, I want to go back to March Madness for just a second here. Do we have any thoughts on my picks for the Sweet 16?
You're wrong. No, but Purdue, Texas over Purdue is crazy to me. But But Texas over BYU, honestly, was kind of crazy, as was Texas over Gonzaga. So I guess they could do it. I think Purdue's too good, though.
I think I'm personally just a Texas hater, so I disagree with that. I also kind of favor the upset of Illinois beating Houston. I think that's going to be a very close matchup, and I really do think, he might disagree over here, but that could happen. The rest of the picks, though, I totally agree with on that. Thank you, Sam. Coming up, visit your local Waffle House or dust off that waffle maker because it's International Waffle Day. How can you celebrate?
And Elijah DePona will have our last look after the break.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move to meet our students where they are and get them where they want to go. Over time, thousands of students have made the move to UCO. They come to pursue their passions and find their calling, to improve their lives, families, and communities. UCO moves and motivates students in and out of the classroom. Here, potential takes flight. Our students' curiosity ignites a spark that fuels transformation. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the university that hasn't stopped moving since 1890. In fact, we are gaining momentum. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Grab the syrup, it's International Waffle Day. The celebration began in Sweden, but now the world gets in on the fun. So heat up the waffle iron and smother it up in butter and syrup. Or get creative with whipped cream, powdered sugar, sprinkles, chocolate, or jam. That sounds very sweet. So speaking of sweet, I hope the weather continues to stay just as tasty as those waffles look, Elijah.
Appreciate you. Last look at weather as we head back outside we look at tomorrow. We're going to see that we start the day at 7 a.m. around 68 degrees out there. As we keep going through noon, we're going to see that temperature ramp up really high all the way to 85 degrees. And once we get to 7 p.m., we're going to be up there to 90 degrees. So we look through the entire state, we'll see that, like I mentioned before, we are high up there with Woodward at 101, up there the Panhandle at 105. We got high temperatures throughout the entire state, even at 98. Look at the southern part of the state, we can see a lot of 95, Ardmore at 90. So it's just going to be a hot day in general. As we look through the 7-day forecast, we'll see that on Wednesday it's going to be pretty hot. On Thursday we got the red flag warning, like I mentioned before. That means we're going to have high temperatures. We're going to have low humidity, all right? And that means that if you are a person that feels hot outside like I do, get some water, stay hydrated. As we go through the weekend, we'll see that we have a dip in temperatures, and the temperature's going to ramp right back up into the weekday once we get to Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But that's all I'm going to have for your first look at weather, or last look at weather, I should say.
Thanks, Elijah. Well, the legendary Route 66 now has a new starting point in Chicago. It's been moved to the Navy Pier. The CEO of Harry Carey's restaurant group helped unveil the new sign for Route 66's starting point, in part because of Chicago's Hall of Fame baseball broadcaster Harry Carey's ties to the road. Route 66 runs more than 2,400 miles to the Santa Monica Pier in California.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. I've been Luke Underwood.
And I'm Phil Rodriguez. Have a good night, Broncos.
Yeah.